Welcome back everyone to another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at Masters of the Universe Origins Buzz-Off. Now I have to give a shout out to David Russo and Haley White. Thank you so much for this figure, for getting this figure for me. I really appreciate it. It was so nice of you guys to do. Now that I've said that, let's move on with the review. Here's Buzz-Off from Masters of the Universe Origins. I did not have the original one of these guys when I was a kid, so this is actually a pleasure to have, and I'm very grateful for this figure, and I'm thankful for those that got it for me. I really appreciate it. They didn't have to, they did. Once again, thank you so much. So with this guy here, he comes with a few accessories. They're already on him except for one. So let's get into taking a look at the accessories really quick. So let's take a look at his axe. So here's his axe, just casted in a brown plastic. It would have been cool if this was metal colored, but it's not. But it's cool. It's just a simple axe. I think the original one came with an axe like this. Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure, but I do believe that this was the axe that he originally came with in the vintage figure, I should say. And then he also did, I know for a fact the vintage figure came with these bug eyes that clip on. So this is another accessory that Buzz-Off comes with. Are these eyes, these bee eyes, bug eyes. So they have the ports here for his antenna to slip through, and then that's how it sits on his head. Sorry, I skipped a few things. As you see, it's just painted right here. I love the gridded detail that they did put in here. I'm sorry, I'm busy kind of doing things around the house, so I'm kind of in a hurry while I'm doing this, so I do apologize if I seem that way. They did put a little detail here. So, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Jeff Goldblum as The Fly. If any of you guys have ever seen that movie, if you haven't, go watch it. It's a pretty cool movie. But when he turns into a fly, this is what his eyes kind of remind me of right here. These do. And it's just casted in yellow plastic and then painted brown right here. Nicely done. Nicely done. Not too bad. Not too shabby. And then the other accessory are the wings. His robotic wings. Let me just pop these bad boys off. So here's his wings, and you can see all the robotics that are going through here. Looks like springs and a few other mechanics that are going on in these wings. I don't think his wings were supposed to be mechanic, but maybe back in the vintage that's the way they were supposed to be. I don't know. I do know that Buzz-Off is part of the, I don't want to say Avion. I can't remember the name of his people. But anyway, you take the wings with this slat here. As you see, I just slid it onto this peg right here. And you just peg it on, slide it over, and then turn it. And there you go. There you have Buzz-Off's wings. Really neat, pretty cool, pretty simple, very, very nice. And then you take, like I said, his antenna, and you just kind of maneuver it to where it goes into the holes. And that's it, and that's how it sits on his head. And then you have his pincers, right? So his axe, of course you can't hold it like that, so you have to turn his pincer over and just push it way back in there. And there you go, he does hold it. It won't fall out. He holds it. Very, very nice. Very well done too. Simple, just simple. That's what I love about these Masters of the Universe Origins figures. They're just simple, just like the vintage ones were, and they just added some articulation. How we would have loved if these figures, when we were kids, had articulation the way they do now. We would have been over the moon. So, before I get into the articulation, I'm jumping ahead. Like I said, just kind of in a little bit of a hurry doing this review, so I do apologize. Let's look at his paint sculpt on his face. That's a cool face. Smiling. He's just a happy bee. I wonder if he's related to the Honey Nut Cheerio bee, right? Oh, he's always happy, you know, Always got the honey on the mind. Do 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 do. Yeah, he's got his nose, human nose, which is pretty neat. His little teeth, his smile, even his eyes are smiling. For the bug eyes that he has, they're smiling. Very nicely painted. They're painted in a metallic blue, which is really cool. I love the way the paint comes through on the face right here to give him his little stripes, make it look like he has kind of some mutton chops on the side. And then the articulation on the back of the head, the texture right here. Very nice, all the way down to the neck, all the way down to his back, all insect-like. His antennas have some detail in there. Very well done. Very well done. His yellow and brown, you know, the yellow stripes on the brown, no paint spillage on it, all the way down to his Masters of the Universe belt and fuzzy shorts, which is common with most of the figures, and then down to his monster feet, or the reptile feet, because this is the reptile buck, I do believe. So, and he does share the same arms as Clawful, except for Clawful has that bigger claw on it. So he has like two of Clawful's little claws on his hands. Anyway, moving on. They did a very nice job. I know in the vintage one, this was soft plastic in the back. I know a friend who had one and it was soft back here. I do remember that, kind of like Whiplash. Whiplash had the same body style as this guy, and it was soft plastic all the way for his tail as well. And yes, we do not have the vintage spring. That would have been cool if they would have added that in there, but they didn't. It's all good. I mean, I'm just getting a little nostalgic by checking this guy out. But anyway, moving on to the articulation. As you can see, I already started with the arms. He can do a nice T-pose right there. They can move out. His arms can move all the way around. And it's just a typical Masters of the Universe single joint, which doesn't go very far. He has a wrist swivel, not waist, and he has wrist articulation that goes side to side. Onto the head, he can look down this far. He can look up that far. So for a flying character, not too well, but still well as can be. And he has head tilt, which is pretty good. And he's probably singing that Honey Nut Cheerio song right about now. He has a waist swivel. He can do the splits. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And he has his knee joints. So not only does he have a single knee joint here for his knee bend, but he also has a knee swivel, which is really neat. No upper thigh swivel, but he has a knee swivel, so that's cool. And he has a boot swivel, which is awesome too. And then moving down, he has the ankle articulation, which lets his foot move forward that far, and then moves backwards, I should say. Moves backwards that far, moves forward this far, which is actually really nice. And then ankle tilt. He has crazy ankle tilt. And then, of course, you have his wings, which come out. All right. So overall in all, I'm really ecstatic to have this guy, to add him to my collection. Once again, Haley, David, thank you so much. So nice of you guys to pick this guy up for me, even though you didn't have to. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to get this guy back, if I can, with this on here. It's giving me a hard time. It doesn't want to go on. He doesn't want it on. All right, so we're gonna leave it off for now. I'll mess with that later. But I will put his axe in his hand. That I will do. So let's get his axe in his hand. Come on. There we go. Just kind of give it a little tiny push all in there. Very nice. Let's get him to where he's gonna stand back up. One thing I do realize is that the more you mess with the joints on these Master of the Universe figures, they get loose real fast. So you definitely want to be careful with that. If I can get him to stand up. Now, as far as posing these guys, you know, they're not really all that articulated. but they are, like I said, really cool. I'm liking them. I think they're really cool figures, and it's a nostalgic thing with these guys. That's what it all comes down to. Anybody who's a Masters of the Universe fan will understand what I am saying. All right, now that I've got him standing up here and I'm done fiddle-faddling around with him, let's do some comparisons. I only have a couple figures out. Like I said, I'm doing housework, like I said in the last review of the Joker, so let's do some comparisons. Here is the Thing from Marvel Legends, the Fantastic Four, the Joker, the comedian from McFarlane Toys, and here's how he compares with Beastman, the Lords of Power Beastman. All right, guys, there you go. All the comparisons with Buzz Off. So, last few words on this review. This guy's really good. I like him. I am glad I have him. Once again, shout out to Haley and David. Thank you so much. You didn't have to, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, guys, you get a chance to find this guy and you are a Masters of the Universe collector and you do have nostalgic feelings when it comes to these figures, pick them up, man. Pick them up. They're awesome. They're from our childhood. It's awesome to see them back out, in stores, and the newer generations getting to experience what we experienced as kids. Now, I understand it's no Fortnite, but it's cool. It's cool stuff. With that being said, guys, please hit the notification bell for any future videos that I put up. That way you stay notified, and leave comments down below if you like what you're seeing. Definitely like, subscribe, definitely share the video. That way it helps the YouTube algorithm get this bad boy out of here. Out there, I'm sorry, not out of here, but out there. That way they can keep these videos going, and that way it keeps this channel alive. Thank you to all my supporters. Thank you to all of my new supporters. And hey, I'll catch y'all on the flippity flip.